100 वर्ड पर मिनट की डिक्टेशन होगी। 27 नंबर है और वॉल्यूम नंबर 2 रहेगी। सो बी रेडी, स्टार्ट। Mr. Vice Chairman, sir, I rise to support the Plantations Labor Amendment Bill brought up by the government for our consideration. Sir, the sad plight of millions of toiling people who sweat on various plantations in the country to earn valuable foreign exchange for us is really too much to be expressed in words. These workers live and work in most inhuman and pitiable conditions. These plantations include tea, coffee, cinchona, rubber, etc. And as we know, tea alone is one of the major foreign exchange earners of our country. But, sir, it is indeed most regrettable that notwithstanding a lapse of 34 years since our independence, these workers who earned crores and crores of rupees by way of foreign exchange have to live in most miserable conditions. They live in houses that are most insecure and collapse frequently, and when these workers die as a result of these collapse, their guardians or their dependents do not get even due compensation for the loss that they have to bear. Unhygienic living in distant and far-flung areas compounded with lack of medical and educational facilities make their life utterly miserable. These plantation workers have to live in abject poverty like slaves of their employers, and as we know, most of these plantations are still foreign owned establishments, last vestiges of the colonial rule, the British rule, and as I said, it is a matter of deep regret for all of us that despite enacting an act, the Plantations Labor Act 1951, we have not yet been able to effect any improvement in their conditions. I think the employers alone are not responsible for their miserable condition. We are also as much responsible as they are because although we could enforce the enactment and we could improve their conditions much earlier, we have failed in doing so. Sir, on the 9th May 1973, this House, the Rajya Sabha, decided that a joint committee should be appointed to look into the despite amendment and put up a draft as early as possible for our consideration. On the 26th May 1975, the Lok Sabha also adopted our resolution, our motion, with the result that a 45 member committee in which 15 representatives were from the Rajya Sabha and 30 from the Lok Sabha was appointed to look into the matter. Mr. Vice Chairman, I was speaking about the need for developing a strong UN delegation. I wish that the Honorable Prime Minister would give his attention to this aspect of the matter, particularly in view of the fact that in the next decade or two, politics all over the world would take on a complex character, and it is necessary that men are trained from now on for taking part in international affairs. In the UK and the United States, such delegations are built with men who have wide knowledge of international affairs, and there should be other qualification for a man to be included in such a delegation. In this connection, I should like to mention that it is time for government to develop sound conventions regarding the conduct of foreign affairs in the United States. They have accepted the principle of bipartisan consultation on important affairs of policy. For example, when President Kennedy stood for election, President henceover, even during the period of time of the conduct of the campaign of President Kennedy, kept him informed about major developments in foreign affairs. We have seen our government standing troops out of this country to the Congo, and at that time I had raised the point that before troops left our country for any assignments of an unusual character like the Congo assignment, members of the opposition should be informally consulted. There will be no question of any leakage of information whatever if leaders in the opposition are consulted on important aspects of foreign policy. The consultative committee of the External Affairs Ministry does go some way to meet the needs of exchanging information about foreign affairs, but the informal consultation of that kind that I mentioned, where the leader of the opposition and leaders of other parties are called and told by the Prime Minister about unusual developments would strengthen the convention that the foreign policy of the country has the support not only of the Congress party but also of the entire country. I was speaking about our external publicity, and it is a subject on which I think I can speak with some confidence as I have been an old time newspaperman in this country. The material which is sent out to foreign countries is extremely scarpy and useless. There is included in these messages some statement of what this matter minister was saying somewhat full stop.